Hey there, tubers. Today's video is going to be on installing this rear view camera on a Bobcat E42 R2 excavator. So this came as a kit. The kit number is 7420941, and inside this box was some additional boxes. And basically it was a wire harness, which looks like it's a 7421286, and the camera itself, which is a 7385511. So it also came with some bolts, a mounting bracket, and some zip ties. So it should be a pretty straightforward install. This has got the 7-inch touch screen, so it should be pre-wired for this. It's just simply mounting the camera and the bracket, and then running the wire inside to connect with the existing wiring. So I'll get rolling on this and show you how it goes along the way. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to mount that camera to this bracket. And the way the bracket sits on the machine is the rear window is right here. This bracket will go on like this. This camera will mount inside through those two holes, and then 10mm will tighten the nuts and bolts together, and then we'll have to pull apart the speaker inside and run the wire. So I'll get this mounted up and be right back. Okay, well, I was mistaken. Those are 10mm, but the two nuts that came in that package for the camera are 7/16, and they had some blue thread locker on them, so I guess that's to keep them from backing off there. So 7/16, and then the side bolts that'll bolt it to the back of the cab are 10mm. So the next thing I'll do is I'll jump in the cab here, and we'll pull this speaker off, and that's just a Phillips head screwdriver. We'll get that pulled out and then see what the next step is. Okay, so there's the speaker out, and if you peek in there, you'll be able to see the antenna for the radio, and then there should be another plug right off to the side here. Yep. So we'll pull that plug out. We'll also pull this little tool tray that's behind the seat here. It just pops right out like so, and then we'll be able to mount the camera up on the back and run the wires down this pillar where they come out down below here. So I'll get that grommet pulled, and I'll get the camera mounted up there, and I'll be right back. Alright, so there's the grommet. Came out right there. I'll get that camera mounted up to this piece here, and we'll run the wires inside. Alright, so I got that mounted up there. Now there's 3 holes down here, and you have your choice. You can tip this back to where the camera points further down and use this front hole, or tip it to where the camera's up higher in the back one. So I just stuck it in the middle for now to see how that works out for me. And then I'll just shove this wire in through this grommet hole. That's a tight fit, just like that. And then they did supply you with a new grommet here, so I'll get that slid back and popped in there, and then we'll move to the inside and get going in there. Okay, well, I got that grommet installed. The next step will be to take this harness and route it down this pillar to where it comes out down below here. So I just need to make sure I got the right end left up here, and we'll get it routed down through there and see how hard that is. If you feel just inside here, there'll be a cutout for this pillar, and then just run it down to this cutout down here, and you should be good. So I'll get that run and be right back. So that's now run. There it is at the top, and then coming out the bottom down here, and you have plenty of extra cable here. They show that the connection should be sitting right back here, but I didn't see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this open and see if I can see inside there well enough to find it. And so I'll get this connected here, and I'll put the speaker back in, and this will be all tied together and ready to go up here. Then I'll go searching for that wire. Be right back. All right, well, that was a struggle. It took me forever to find this thing. In fact, I had to go get my boroscope and run down in there. This thing was clear down up in front here, so it took a lot of digging. But there's a couple things I noticed when I was in my searches. My radio antenna cable here, it doesn't look to be in outstanding shape. Kind of looks like maybe when they were running this cable in. So there's the other side of it. They cut this shielding, and it's not in good shape at all. So I'm gonna have to talk to the dealership about getting me a new one of those. And it's pretty simple. It runs the same route that this camera will. But I don't know why they wouldn't have caught that. That seems silly. And then the other thing is my cigarette lighter here, or phone charger, or whatever you want to call it. It wasn't connected at all. It's just rattling around in there. But I think if I get my hand up in here, I can tighten it down and get it hooked up. If I can't, that'll be another issue for the dealership to deal with. So once I get this camera wire run, I'll deal with these things and before I put it back together. But I can tell you right now, this is a spaghetti mess in here. Holy cow, they got wires running everywhere, and it looks like they just shoved them in there. So a little less organized than I would have expected. But I think I'll be able to get this end of the cable back around here and through here and just run it down the side without having to pull any of this plastic off. I'm going to give that a shot and see what happens. See you in a bit. Okay, so what I found was you can get that connector started, but it doesn't want to push because it's kind of tight in there with these other wires. So I found that in the back here, maybe you can see it right in there, there was a push pin. So I popped that out, and when I pop that out, it lets you open this up just enough to get it started in there, and it goes on the back side of your vents here. So popping that out made this a whole lot easier. Just slid right through. So now I got these two all put together, and a whole passel of wires that I need to try and organize and get back in there nice and neat. Then I'll get that pushed back together and get that push pin in. Put this tray back in there. Put this all back, and I should be pretty close to being done. I think there's some adjustments on the camera, and that should be it. So I'll get this buttoned up here and be back with you. Alrighty, we got everything buttoned back up, back like it should be. So next thing is to turn the key on and see where the display comes up here. Alright, the camera is on, and it looks like it's a little crooked. What they have you do is measure 4 feet off the back of the machine, and I measured 4 feet and left my tape measure right there, so it is showing up. They want to be able to see just a little bit of the back engine compartment, and then looks like the camera's skewed off to the one side here, so I'll jump out and adjust that. But it's working, so let me jump out here and I'll show you what we have to adjust out back. Alright, so up underneath here, there's on each side an Allen head screw, and those are a 2.5 Allen wrench, and I'll loosen both those up, and then that should allow me to move this camera around, and I'll get it kind of adjusted where it needs to be, and we'll check it again. Alright, so I got that adjusted, and I can just see the corners of the engine cover, which I think is good. I might later on adjust this down a little more, maybe to see some more of the back here, but I kind of like right now how far out I can see, but I might want to see more up close. I'll run it for a little while, see what I think, and maybe adjust it later. Now that little turning circle there means that it's a live feed, so you're seeing what is currently happening. I don't know if there's a reason that you wouldn't, but that's what that represents. And I think I've got really good visibility out the back. That's a really nice clear picture. Shows a lot of stuff, so that'll be handy to have. Now you can go into the settings here and you can turn on backup lines. You can adjust the width of your backup lines, and you can turn on center line. If you go to the go to the display there, you can see it all on there nice and clear. I think I'll adjust the backup lines to more represent the width of the machine. And as simple as that. Now, one of the things you can do without taking your hands off the controls is on the right joystick, top button here, you can toggle between the display of your gauges and the camera. And as long as you don't touch anything, it should stay on there till you select something down here or hit the button again. And then the same if you were to hit this, same thing. It'll stay on there until you hit something else or this button. So that'll be nice and handy at times. I didn't realize how much I used one of these until I had it come in factory in one of my other machines, and I'm surprised at how often I use it. So that's why I decided to go ahead and install it on this one. But yeah, it's a real simple install. This probably took me half an hour, and the longest time was trying to find the wires back in here. Other than that, it went really quick. So if you're not really mechanically inclined, you don't need to be. This is pretty much a plug-and-play system. And with that being said, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.